righty. So I just want to give the show over to Megan. She's here to answer any questions that you guys have, and she has some just advice to give everybody as well. So take it away, Megan.
All right, thanks, Samantha. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Congratulations to all of our newly engaged couples. My name is Megan, and I work for Elegant Bridal Productions, one of the top wedding show companies in the U.S. In the chat, if you scroll to the way top, I did add a link to a PDF file that does have some of our upcoming shows. So take a look at them. We do virtual shows. We do have a couple a month, typically around 2. And we do have tons of in-person shows, and they were kind of scarce when the pandemic happened, and now we are back, and we're happy to be back, and a lot of the venues are reopening, so we're happy to have you guys there to check out. That is something I would like to mention, that all of our shows are different, so it depends on the venue that you go to. Every show is at a different venue with different vendors and different prizes and different activities. So it's interesting to come to the shows and fun because bombarded by a bunch of different vendors. You're there to kind of tour the venue. If you're looking for a specific venue, I did see in the polling that a lot of you are stressed out about picking your venue. So this is something that we're here to help you with. So you could just come. You don't have to be bombarded by questions by the venue themselves. You could check out the venue. You can check out the different vendors in the area. And then, of course, we always have prizes. And at every show, we do give away a honeymoon. I am from the area. I'm from the Manahawkin area, so I'm very familiar with everything around LBI and the different venues that they have. It's a great area. I got married around there. So the LBI Roadshow, our wedding shows, they're great resources for you to help you plan your wedding. That's what we're here for, to help you because a lot of times it is very stressful. So I'm sure a lot of you have already learned so much today, but let's first see some wedding dates. How many of you are getting married soon? 2021, maybe this summer, maybe some of us are this fall. So let's see some wedding dates, and then what kind of questions you guys have for me in regards to planning your wedding. Do we have questions about wedding shows? Maybe the trends of 2021? What types of things are we looking to understand and really get planned out so that you are best prepared for your. Thanks so much for recommending us. And I do know that Samantha might have a couple questions for me as well. So I'm here to answer any and all of your questions. Oh, that's so exciting, Amy. Congratulations. October 2022. September. Awesome. Yeah, so that is something I see a lot of 2022 dates. That's something that a lot of us need to consider right now as we're booking, especially since the pandemic did hit. Venues are booking up like crazy. So that's one of the trends that we're going to see for 2022 is these mid-week weddings. A lot of people are doing that. We're seeing a lot of brunch weddings so that people can have it during the day. We know that micro weddings is really a trend that's happening right now, but these venues are booking up so far advanced. That's definitely going to be your top priority, is to find where you want to have your reception first, whether that's at a place or wherever you're having it, and to get that booked right away because people are just booking like crazy. Yes, a lot of 2022 brides. Awesome. Hoping to book at the Seashell. Yeah, that's a great spot. A lot of fun. We have a lot of brides who get married there.
So I know that the LBI region has a lot of coastal inspired locations. If you guys wanted to, maybe if there's any input, because I know Megan said that she is from this area. What is the biggest draw to this area that you guys like so much? Is it, did you always have a dream of having that beach wedding or that rustic boho feel? Because there's so many venues like Parker's Garage. The Seashell is kind of like that tropical feel. You have the indoor outdoor in case of inclement weather. that are equally as beautiful. You have the mainland, Hotel BI, and then you also have up in Barnegat Light, you have the Fireman's Hall that's, fairly versatile, as well as the foundation as well.
Right. And that is something to look at, since a lot of us are coastal brides, getting married by the shore. The top color for 2021 is actually blue. So that fits into a lot of you getting married by the water. And something else, and this is something that I was very scared of. I got married outside, and I know that's a lot of our wish, because we never know what the weather can be. But a lot of these venues are prepared for that. So that's something not to really be too nervous about, because they know how to work around it. They know exactly what to do, and they're prepared for things like that. For a lot of us want those outside weddings, especially now.
All right. Looks like we have a couple questions about more trends. Any trends that you might know of for 2021?
Sure, yeah. So a lot of us in the past, the trend was really rustic. A lot of people were looking for those barn weddings and things like that. And we're kind of slowly moving away from that. We're seeing a lot of these more micro weddings and a lot of smaller things. So what I mean by that is smaller dishes, like personalized for cocktail hour, little things of maybe a cup of French fries, so everything's kind of sanitary, I guess.
Yeah.
It is. We're also kind of moving more towards a modern rustic, maybe like a modern boho. We're seeing a lot of for 2022, and even that's what the trends that they're predicting for here on out. So they're kind of looking at those lace and a lot of the natural greenery to bring in to your wedding with the colors, and not something more bright. Although they are seeing a lot of lilac. So a lot of people are saying lilac and lavender, because people are using lavender at their events in their florals.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of those like wildflowers.
Yeah, a lot of the
unique
wildflowers.
stems.
I just want to get through this video.
Yeah.
The best live wedding showcase to attend for LBI. Well, this one.
Yeah, definitely.
This is the LBI wedding showcase. But yeah, we do a lot of wedding shows, and it's best just to keep a lookout at, especially at things on like Facebook events, and who's having those shows. So we typically put on the events for the venues, but sometimes the venues do themselves. And but there's other venues that you might be interested in. So hit all of those ones in LBI in the same day. Especially don't forget about those yacht clubs. They're having events as well, and they're really there to cater for you, and they really do a beautiful job. And you have all of those vendors in the area who are so used to doing these coastal or shore weddings. So they know on the right time to take your pictures, the right lighting, and they're used to that. So that's something to consider when you're picking your vendors, is to really look at where they're used to doing. Maybe, for example, like the photographer, if they're used to doing those LBI weddings, and they know the area, they know where to get the best shots and where to get the best lighting. And it's a lot of things, that we forget, because we might be from North Jersey and we think, oh, we want this photographer from North Jersey, but take a look at the ones in the area that are really
they know, especially Megan, if you could chime in a little bit about the types of vendors to, because we got a type of vendors to book first. Another best ways to budget as well. That's another question. But the LBI region, especially like Manahawkin, a lot of these wedding professionals, they know the roads. And since it is seasonal, you won't have those types of issues with, the traffic and things like that. Because I know a lot of people who have destination weddings, transportation is definitely something to keep in mind. But so yeah, we have a types of vendors to book first. Any advice on that? And then another one was about budgeting.
Sure, yes. So a lot of times, the first thing to think about is what's most important to you. Is it the food or the music? And that would be your first priority. Make a list with your significant other and decide what is the most important thing. And then once you have that list to then book those vendors, the ones that do get booked up first typically is the music and your entertainment. And that is another trend for 2021, 2022. They're looking at more of entertainment in the sense that's live music. So the acoustic guitar, and people are kind of shying away from the classic way that they do it at weddings, right? Because things are so different right now. So they might just want entertainment throughout the night, till hour thing where they have live entertainment going, and people are just kind of like mingling, keeping the distance. So want to consider and think about. So definitely the music and the photographers are really important to book first, because they get
Yeah.
booked up so quickly. And that kind of goes into the question as to budget. What is the most important to you? And first you need to look at, what does the venue itself offer? Because sometimes they do offer, they have things ready. Some of them already have little table, like the table numbers, and people are buying them for $200, $500. Those are just little things to think about. Transportation, right? That's something that we often forget about. How are you getting your guests to and from the hotel if they're staying at hotels or what have you? And like you said, during the time of summer, the transportation, as with traffic, right? So definitely making a priority list and what's most important to you. Think about what people walk away from at weddings. Are they saying like, oh my gosh, that was the best food I ever had, or that was the most fun I ever had? So think about those things when you are budgeting, but definitely make a list and budget it out beforehand, because sometimes we just say, I want this, 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 and this, and we understand
It gets out of control.
it gets out of control, especially with all those little things. But like I said, these places, especially these ones in LBI who have been doing weddings and do weddings every weekend, they have stuff already, and take their advice and listen to them. Some people include the cake, some don't. So that's something to look at too, because they can get expensive. And it's another trend for 2021, individualized little cakes for all of your guests. So
Okay.
so that's something different, and we're seeing. So ask your venue, ask them what they offer. Make sure you're looking at your contracts, especially now with dates, because as we know, anything can happen. So make sure you're looking at that stuff and not just signing a paper because you want that date so bad. Take a minute and read over it, because they do put little things in there that you're going to want to make sure you check out and understand before you sign it.
Definitely. Awesome. Now, I know we have about 10 minutes left of this session, but Megan can also form a video booth below at the bottom of the platform, below the rest of the vendor booths. There's an area where videos can, like video chat similar to what we're looking at now, can be hosted. So if you have any additional questions, once this session is over, Megan will hop over in there as well. But can you speak a little bit on like the micro wedding idea? I know that a lot of people, especially with like a sunset, because the Barnegat Bay here is just so beautiful. Some people are looking to have, instead of the all day wedding, having, a 4-hour in total, the ceremony, and then maybe an hour to an hour and a half after. Is that something that you're seeing happening at all?
Yeah, a lot. And like I said, a lot of brides and grooms now, what they're doing are brunches.
Wow, brunches. Okay.
Yeah, Sunday afternoon, weekday weddings. There's being a lot of Wednesday and Thursday weddings. And, that's something to check in with your venue, because it's very difficult right now, because there are restrictions. And a lot of them are following different guidelines. So one venue, and it's the size of them too. So one venue might be able to offer you 50 guests only, and where another might be 100. So that's something to take a look at and make sure you're asking those questions and understanding that. But that is what a lot of people are doing now, is having their wedding midday, getting married, like at the Barnegat Bay, at the lighthouse, having that wedding, and then going to the venue and then having some type of outside cocktail hour brunch where people can just, mingle your close family and friends
Mm-hmm.
rather than these, huge lavish weddings. But
Mm-hmm.
the good news is that they are coming back and things are definitely starting to open up, and we're starting to see this happening more and more where our big weddings are coming back. So there is hope
Yeah.
for all of our brides in 2022 who want those big weddings. There is hope for that, and it's still going to happen, I believe, because we're seeing it now. We're seeing it open up. We're seeing more and more people having larger weddings. But I do believe the micro wedding trend will still kind of go into 2022, but it's going to start lingering, I believe. But they're going to start taking those precautions of the things of smaller little wedding cakes for each guest, or for cocktail hour, having individualized little meals and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. Even the seating at the ceremony, having that separate a little bit, and assigned seating. We're seeing a lot of assigned seating for the guest, things that, we didn't typically see before, but now people are starting to think about. And the venues, like they're doing this and they're doing it every day or every weekend now. So they know these trends and they know the precautions that brides are following. So definitely ask them, because each venue has so much to offer, and each one highlights different things. Like we know the Seashell right out there on the beach. So they have so many options for outside. So there's different things to think about, especially if you're looking for that summer wedding or September wedding.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people now, couples are looking for. That's our hot month, right? September.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
September wedding. So think about
I know
that.
that you mentioned earlier because you're familiar with this area. You've lived in Manahawkin, and as far as not just for weddings, but for like bachelorette weekends, I know I'm a local. I live in town, and being able to have your whole entire event centered around the location is great. Brant Beach Yacht Club, Surf City Yacht Club, they have wonderful sunset views for if you're going to do like a bridal shower, or if you're looking to do bachelorette weekend. And even people who are planning parties. I know that Elegant Bridal also, you get people coming to your shows and asking for information about Sweet 16s and about milestone celebrations, and all of the venues. I mean, they don't obviously they focus on weddings, but they offer so much more in regards to those types of celebrations. Do you, as far as like trends on that, just to kind of make amends for, everything that's happened with COVID, have you seen a spike in people getting a little bit more elaborate with like graduations and with the milestone celebrations, and maybe investing more in bachelorette weekend, things like that, to make those more intimate memories with people?
Yeah, and we did see for a little while, unfortunately, those bachelorette parties and kind of taking a back seat, and people more focusing on just the actual event. But we're seeing them, we were having, before the pandemic hit, these bachelorette weekends, weekends were being very elaborate, people flying for these events. And, we're kind of not seeing that anymore. So they are going to more local destinations like LBI and renting perhaps an Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
And when you talked about that a little bit, about the venues having other events, it just reminded me of something that I probably should have touched upon, is to make sure that you're looking into where you want to have your rehearsal dinner.
Yeah, because we have
Yeah,
Buckaloo's and Station 117.
beautiful.
And yeah, beautiful. Even like with fun activities like South End Surf and Paddle, they do what's that, stand up paddle yoga,
Yeah.
which is really cool. So you can like tie like the whole thing in.
Mhm.
I know that a lot of people have been looking into doing that. And at our visitor center, a lot of people, they'll come in and they'll look for maps and welcome kits.
Right.
And that's something that we offer everyone. If you're interested in getting that maps or anything,
Right. And
we have those welcome kits for people.
And it's important to understand too that during this summer season, a lot of the places don't want to do the rehearsal dinners or they don't have a spot to do them. So even looking a little bit inland, I think is okay. You know, places like Maneras does rehearsal dinners.
Yeah.
Even there at the mainland does rehearsal dinners, just, you know, because during that spike season, they say, well, we don't have room for it because we're so busy during the summer.
Yeah.
So make sure you're also, after you book that venue, think about your rehearsal dinner because you're going to want to get those spots squared away too before everything, you know, gets crazy. So they're booking up too. So you want to make sure you're thinking about that and doing that, and even consider different options for that. You know, perhaps going inland to one of those restaurants there if you can't find a place on the island during the spike season.
Yeah, definitely. So we have about a minute left. If there's any questions, feel free to ask us. And then, like I said, Megan will hop in a video booth, which can be located at the bottom on the virtual lobby. If there's any additional questions that you guys might have.
Yes. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. We're so glad. I know Brenda, she's up in North Jersey, and thankfully
Yeah.
she was able to get us that nice video. I was like, go girl, you're climbing up those stairs, and she's recording her welcome message. I was like, she's awesome. Okay, great. So
Thank you. Bridget.
thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, everybody, for attending this session. We hope you guys got a lot of great information, and feel free to hang out for the rest of the afternoon. This whole entire platform will be open till 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's when it'll shut off. So if you want to revisit tomorrow morning to download any menus or files, feel free. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Bye.